What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Crystal Milkshake, and we're back here with Conversation with Milkshake. And I know I told y'all Spice Vibe series was the series for the summer. Happened to have a special guest in the house. I'm excited to have this guest tonight. Okay, as you know, last time we had little Carrie, the burial, but this time I have the wonderful vibes man. I like to call him real energy, pumping. Your boy, Dred Lion. Shall I sing the song? Shall I sing it? Oh, we give me the grease. Greasy dough. Dred Lion, hi.
Hi, good night. How are you doing?
Good night.
It's a pleasure to be here on the Milkshake.
Yes, and thank you so much for being here. You've been a busy fellow, I see.
Well, I mean, that's a good problem to have, I guess.
That's a great problem to have. I like how you say that. That's a beautiful problem to have. So how has it been? You've been in so many fetes, so many shows. Like let's not even go to. I can't even go to all of them, right? Roman music. I'm Jamboree.
Mm-hmm.
I see you was at Soca Fest. I was there, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You were at Torpri. Torpri, his show up here, which is the Bad and Bougie
Pretty.
from Grenada, but the New York City. You've been all over the place. So tell us, how does it feel to be booked, as we say in America, booked and busy?
It's just a blessing. It's surreal, to sing that, the vibe that such an authentic Grenadian vibe could captivate so many, So it's very surreal for me. It's like I really don't know how to feel, but to be here and know that it's like this is Grenadian vibes, and people really, really enjoying the mass, and that's a real good feeling.
And I love to see it. And you know why I love to see it? Because I remember there was a time when, I've been going to fetes since I was young, right? I mean, I don't go as much partying no more, but here and there. But I say that to say, I remember there was a time when it was hard to get a Grenadian song to play in fetes and parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't the easiest thing. And I remember when Torpri came out with Olo One.
Yeah.
Olo One Alone, when he came out with that. And the little 5 seconds we used to get, we used to be so excited for that. And that was it. And look now, Grenada is the top trending Caribbean soca music within Labor Day weekend. And I heard, if I'm not mistaken, Jason Ben had a post that said Grenada Soca saved soca music this year. And I can fully agree with that because you are actually on Spotify. Congratulations. That's a big deal to be on Spotify.
Yeah, so
and yes, and the fact that you're in the top 3 for the most played song for Labor Day weekend. And it actually opens my heart, and I'm so happy to see Grenada shining, because I used to always call Grenada the best kept secret, going in from a child until an adult. So seeing that the vibes and people enjoying the mass and people understanding the culture now, I mean, it's all over. You're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, you're everywhere, Facebook.
I mean, it's just a testament to the mass that we know we felt, once upon a time. And it's good to see that people could really appreciate it for its authentic nature and the energy that you feel from it. Because if you look at the content creators, you could see all of them, you could tell they genuinely had a good time. Yeah, and it's not for them to say, for people who are a part of the culture, traveling carnivals, to hear somebody say Grenada was top 3 or Grenada was the best carnival I went for, it's mind-boggling to know that people are actually really feeling, because I believe that Grenadians knew that we had a very rich mass, for a long time, even the music and the energy of how we just party too. I think that is, we have a very real rich energy when we party, you party with strangers and it's you feel like it's somebody you know, just the way the energy, captivates you. So, I mean, as I say, it's a blessing to come this far, and, the men that would have paved the way and done a lot of the work, Lavas and the killers, even the older guys, the inspectors and the achamos and so, So, it's just a good feeling to be here now, and, have the children feel the energy of, like, not hold on, but we're feeling like we're going somewhere. We have a potential
yes.
with the music, like people actually listening and giving it, flowers,
And I love that too. I love being a Spice Mass is on the rise. Everybody's talking about Spice Mass now. Everybody's saying, gotta go to Spice Mass 2026 now. I'm hearing accommodations, hotels is booked out. I'm like, that can't be. Absolutely not. I don't believe it, honestly. But I think give it to October. That's what I'm telling everybody. Give it to like October, November. We'll see. But where do you think how it's going to shape the culture as far as going into the future?
Well, I think understanding what it is that the people are coming for, and knowing how we preserve that to continue to sell it now, and then understand that the mass is going to grow. It's not going to look like it once did, being that we have so much eyes on us and so much people want to experience it. It's going to look a lot different, We're going to have to come up to the standard of, carnivals, around the world. And, you don't want it to be a case where it's good vibes, good energy, but logistically there's, there are loopholes. And so I think, it's a lot of room for growth, and I could see it. I could see the music and the infrastructure of the carnival really putting themselves in a position to, capitalize and still at the same time promote Grenada on the largest scale.
I agree. How do you feel about jab being introduced to the world? Because that's like a big talk right now, especially on TikTok. I was watching a clip of two young ladies talking about this on a social media, and they were saying, should jab be open up to the world, or should jab be enclosed just to our culture? Because people have a lot to say, of course, but people are always going to have a lot to say when they don't understand something. But it's more like it's getting so much attention, and a lot of people are gravitating to trying to understand it. Do you think we should keep it amongst ourselves, or do you think it's time to introduce it to the world?
I think the mass that is jab, it needs a certain level of respect. But I think once you come to Grenada and play the mass, understanding what it is, the preparation, the history, and you come and play the mass in Grenada, then I think if it is that you want to be a jab, then you come and be a jab. I don't think it's a case where we will, like we keep it to ourselves, because that is not mass in itself. Mass is not segregation. So I personally think of it as, you love it so much, it captivates you. You come to Grenada Carnival and play a jab. You understand? See if you feel what it is that you've been visually, drawn to. And I don't think we could, like, if we hold back the jab, or like say, like I feel like it's a hold on. That will hold up.
That'll hold up. Yeah.
That you can wanting to spread mass and then tell it in the masses like it's only for a specific. How do we, categorize who could play mass, who could play jab, and or who's worthy of playing? Nah, if you feel captivated enough to come and play a jab, come to Spice Mass and play a jab. All right, and then after that, if you want to go and play jab anywhere else, you could do that. Go and play a jab, because you come and you've been signed and baptized as a jab.
Like how you say signed and baptized. True. I have some friends that I brought with me to Grenada. I try to prepare people the best way I can. Preparation is always key. But they didn't realize what Grenada was gonna come with. You could tell people all day how to prepare, but they don't really know it until they actually experience it. And one thing they said, not only them, but I've seen other people say, "Whoa, Grenada is a different kind of beast. It's a different animal." And I said, "I told you guys." I said, you gotta prepare yourself. It's something cool. I said, when you touch down in Grenada, it's no sleep.
Yeah.
Get sleep when you can, but it's straight pace. You know what I mean?
Now we've gotten there. I mean, I would say that, now it's gotten to a place where it's like it could be like a 2 weeks and no sleep. But I remember growing up and listening to like the older young men in the community, and they would like they now sleeping since like Thursday night, straight into Sukamonak, straight into whatever Saturday night if it's pan, and then the show, and then Sunday out whole day drinking, getting ready for a job, then you're outside juvie, you're outside Monday night mass. You might get some sleep Tuesday morning, but that is until the Tuesday job started. So you have Sotes, you have St. David's, you have Guave. So you had job on Tuesday morning, and then you still have last lap. So it's been that kind of mass for a little while, but it's good to see now from at least the 1st of August, you could party go right till.
Right, true.
Yeah.
Right, true. Yeah. And now it's like, I love the fact that it's more events, 'cause it gives more opportunity for the artists to showcase themselves. I love that.
Sure. And I think like even now is we're at a place where the DJs too feel compelled to like, have the Grenadian music play throughout the fete, or majority, like rock the fete with local music now.
Yes.
And that's a good place to be.
And I feel like it does give the DJs also some shine too.
Yeah. I mean, the more events you have, and you have to get, DJs who know the music, who, want to, because it's a balance of really like knowing your crowd that come in and knowing the crowd that you have to teach them some of the music, and then you still have to satisfy the people who there and want to hear some of that stuff.
Some of the stuff as well. Yeah, true. And like I said, I really had a time this year. I really had a good time.
This year was a year.
Yeah, this was a year. This was definitely the year. I could say that for sure.
Yeah, this was a year.
So Grenada, born and grow. It's where you from. Tell us what Grenada culture means to you.
Ooh. I don't know now, boy. It's a lot to say, but I found myself somewhat in Grenada culture. That might be a big statement, but from early there was pan with Comancheros. Then there was drums, goatskin drums, These two things were, like very instrumental in like being present in the things that made us Grenadian. These things constantly you have to take part in, whether it's independence something, or it's something about Carnival. And all these things tend to, you have to do like a research, you have to find out what's taking place. So it's being a part of the culture made me even more proud to be Grenadian, understanding, like our journey and the growth of certain things, and, the way certain things would have evolved over the years, and some of the traditions and some of the ways that, we were very stern in like just getting up and that there's a certain pride that Grenadians have for things that are Grenadian, and like culture helped me really understand, that and myself inside of that. Like, so what you're really doing for like a culture that you see and you understand and you love. So what you're really doing for it, it's like, so he helped me know really, put myself in a position to really like give the culture something like a leg in itself. How do you like for instance dancing or acting, how do you really help propel this art form within the culture if you're not like be a part of it, do something within that same, So I feel like I go a lot of places, but all in all, I just want to say that culture really, you know, and boy, culture just cannot save me, boy. I don't know. Because all these things is things I grew up around and I don't know who I'd be with all these things. You know, so that is why I say that.
You're very immersed in the culture. You're connected to it, and you're very versatile. You're not just greasy down. Like, if people don't know who you are, you're more than just that. You are someone who is multi-talented. And the fact that you play the drums, the percussion, you know, when did that start for you?
The drums was probably about 8 or 9. Somewhere around there, my mom got one for my birthday, and I had it in the house, you know. Cause he used to like knock it and thing. I mean, and growing like from early years, probably like 1 to 5, I used to stay not too far from the panels, like a stone throw away, you know. And so that kind of like a pang, 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 I kind of been in my head ever since. And the drum, I had the drum for a while, but you know, no formal training. Never used to go anywhere and play per se. But Ivan came in, I think it's 2004, right? And then after in the church, they didn't have any amplified music at the time, so it was just drums. I think we were using, or drums and guitar, if I'm not mistaken. So it was about 4 of us, Aquino, Joshua, and Jade. Yeah, and myself. And we used to play in the church, like religiously every Sunday, you know. Used to tell us, you know, keep the volume down, and you know, we're young and spritey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think Kino and Joshua would have probably started playing for one of the dance groups. I think it was Conception. And they would have played with that older gentleman by the name of Monty. And you know, I didn't think I did, for some reason I just wasn't on it, on the mission, you know. But they were doing that, and I think they would have done that for some time, and then we used to like just look at jam. I think I could feel like going back Aquino and just playing drums and just vibing, and that drums kind of take off for a little bit. So I was off that, and then it was drum corps, like in school. So I had drum corps, and then some of the panels with the drum set, and then on Sundays you go in you go in church in St. Paul's, church in Lavari, just to play the drum twice. And I won't lie, probably like about 2012. There's a lady that started a dance group, and me and Aquino started playing for her. She had a few dancers, and from there cannot take root now. So we'd have played for her, we'd have traveled to Cuba in 2014, and then 2016 I went to Carifesta, and there was this group called Acadco. And there was a young Grenadian dancer, Shanika Gibbs, that was performing with them. Yeah. And there were these 3 drummers who came. And so just picture this. This is like a workshop day. It's probably like about 11 o'clock, 10, 11 in the morning. And you have, let's say, close to like 60 young people pulling up for a dance workshop. And there's these 3 guys on drums, and they start playing, and the whole room is filled up with drum music. And I'm talking about a big room filled up with close to 40 dancers on the floor at any one point in time. And the room is filled with these guys like rocking these drums. Like I know him now, but then I didn't know him. His name is Ruel Phillip, and he's on djembe, and he's tearing like it's and to me, at the time I went to Carifesta to play drums, but I hadn't seen drums at that level, even that intense now. Because it was really intense. You could tell, like,
sound like it was
I'm
intense.
telling you, the drums like created the energy in the room, and I was like, nah, boy. But I had felt it different times with one of the guys that I would have started Lion Pride Percussions with, Rendell Batiste. His father is a pastor in a Baptist church, and he would have invited me to the church, on several occasions. And inside there, you would feel the energy when the voice and the drums come together. So I knew it could happen. I felt it. But this was a small room. I'm talking to a big room. This is a big room. Probably like, let's say like 60 by 100 feet on it, like rectangular, square shaped room. And these men, 3 drummers, filling up the whole room with. And since then, I just couldn't look back. That just like, it just wore me. Like, I didn't think drums could be so powerful now. And just never look back.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the fact that you got exposure, that was a huge deal, because at a young age you started traveling.
Yeah.
And you're drumming and traveling. So that was meant for you to see and hear. Even I started thinking about even back in slavery times, when they talk about slavery, when and they beat the drum and the messages, how they used to communicate with one another. So I can only imagine just being in that room, hearing that. It did something to your spirit.
For real. Telling you.
I mean, seeing that you went to Japan, to represent Grenada, you played drums. Tell us about how that experience was, and how were the people feeling? What were their reactions, if I can say, while you were there?
Japan was a very interesting experience, because culturally different, and you have like a language barriers here and there, but it was very interesting just to see how much people were eager to explore like what it is, like look at the performance, like stand up, who could talk, would ask questions, and there was just a eagerness from a lot of the spectators just to take in the culture, and it felt good to have people not even understand what you're saying, but still have a sheer will and excitement to see, take in, and because we did a few performances, but it was just really warming to see people really enjoy, as I say, Grenadian culture.
Like, what were some of the questions? I'm curious. Like, what were some of the questions they were asking, or like what made them curious, want to know more about the culture?
Well, they would ask about different parts of the mask. We did different performances with like belly dress and so, and then we did I think we did a parade with some of the characters and so. So some of it would have been a curiosity that was not per se like a verbal question, but you could see it in their sheer rush to want to see what's taking place. And like when we finish, we like, oh, why are you done? Do more.
Yeah.
A lot of it was more that per se than to see actual questions. Because as I said, the language barrier was real for a great majority of the trip. But there was folks who would. I remember one particular young lady asking some questions on the bus, about what we doing and that kind of thing. But yeah, but it was really, really, really interesting, as in terms of like their cultural difference.
Culture, yeah.
Like how clean the place was and all, yeah.
The Japanese culture within the Asian culture period, like they're very different. I went to China, I'm not saying, but and yeah, the language barrier was different. But I use Google Translator majority of the time. But I could definitely say it's crazy how I found people there that spoke English.
Yeah.
I found one or two those that speak both. They speak the Mandarin, but they also speak English as well, and perfectly good too. So that was pretty good. But that's a great experience to know that you're able to carry the culture with you. You're able to do what you love still, and be able to share it with the world and let people see what the culture is about. And I can see, like I said, you represent that because you connect to that, So how was Greasy Down? Like, how did you write that song? Let's get into that. Let's get into the nicks and crannies and everything about that song. How did Greasy Down come about?
First of all, I want to bring up So Collective as the family, the team, the label, the musical brothers. Tallis, Chis, Jadan, and King J. Big up Omic, Tiffany, and Nixon. But we were just in as I say, as So Collective, we were already in that space of creating music. Now we were in that zone, and this would have happened. The conception of the song would have happened. As I just remember in the radio interview now. But yeah, so we have a performing group that we perform at Sandals with.
Okay.
And so some of my drummers, we perform with them on a regular. But this was, I think it was Independence time, and we were doing some traditional mask characters. So Shortney, Veko, Jab, right, Wild Indian. And I just had to play a jab. So we were preparing to play the jab as, jab professionals do, applying the right protective, lubricant for the skin. And either sometimes, like going to perform, you create sometimes, you have people put their hands in a circle, there are people who listen to music, and sometimes I just vibe, create a vibe. And it was a few of us that day, and I was just like, oh, when they give me the grease. Grease sit down. So it was 5 of us playing the jab, and they was like, and I just keep singing it over and over. Oh, when they give me the grease. Grease sit down. Oh, when they give me the grease. Grease sit down. And that was it for now. And then the rain just started to fall, So we had to move and thing. And in the moving now, it's like, I ain't moving. I jab, I go and play. I feel like I can't leave in the rain. Because I don't know how to grease. I ain't started oil yet, I just had to grease.
You started grease on
just the grease. But when the oil, when the rain fall, no, I wasn't really like getting wet because I don't have so much grease on me. Yeah, and I just keep singing it and singing it and singing it, and then it's like everybody catch it, and we start like we were stamping and just say, oh, when they give me the grease. Oh, we sit down. Oh, when I get my grease. Oh, we sit down. I feel like I can't leave in the rain. I feel like I. Yeah, and we perform. As we was going in now, a part of the presentation in the hotel, they had one of the drum corps from St. David's Secondary, right? And we met them probably at the top of the hill. And I said, let me test it out. And we was chanting it, and like off the bat, the children heard it, and like they would start knocking on the drums. They wasn't allowed to play loud, but they was just knocking on the drum. And I was like, all right. And we catch it. And then So Collective, we were, as I said, we had already put on some other pieces, and we was doing the Reckless rhythm. Big up to Omic, the producer who made the rhythm. And I think 2 other songs may have been already on the rhythm, and I needed to put something, and I can't remember who had suggested it, but it was like, would it fit on the rhythm? That was the question.
Right.
And once it fit, the rest of it was history in terms of just like making sure we have verse and you know, like it flow nice, you know. But yeah, it was a real good, nice team project because even like I had some fumbling with Kalalu. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. It took me a little while. Just even like recording it was a different process to
compared to if you're just
when I was
regular
just making
chanting
it.
and making it. Yeah.
So even that took me a little while, and it was just fun, you know, like going through the ropes of, you know, just completing it now as a project, and then, you know, we felt really good in the end to say like, yeah, you know, this is done. But I mean, the whole rhythm in itself was a really good project to have, you know, 5 tracks from only 5 people on a rhythm. Yeah, it was really, really, really good.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, like the producer, and what's the producer name you said that produced that rhythm? Omik?
Yeah.
Omik, you the boss. I'm gonna say that to you, Omik.
Yeah,
you see it here, we here now. You watching me, Omik? If you're watching this right now, whenever you do watch this, you the boss, because I am a big fan of music.
Yeah.
I love music, and I know when I can hear something. I can't say no if it's going to pop or not, because I like some, but I love music. So regardless if it's popular or not, if it moves my soul, I'm going to move to it. But when I was in Grenada, when did I come? I came down the Tuesday. Tarpy had in Limelight that night. So I said, all right, let's go, guys. You want to Limelight? That wasn't on the schedule because we made by the way, we made a whole schedule. Yes, we did. Come to Grenada, you have to make a schedule, right? Made a whole Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, it was that serious. So that wasn't on the schedule. That was off the schedule. But come to find out, you know, our driver, he was going to. And so I said, all right, let me make our live. Let's go. So I'm in Limelight, and it's time for, you know, performance. And I see you pass through. Mind you, I never saw you before in my life, you know. I had to tell you the truth. It's been a long time since I've been to Grenada. It's been a while. So it was like my re-entrance. It was like me coming back for the first time in so long. And then I see you come on the stage and you start to sing and you start to get on in the energy. But you was kind of cool. It wasn't too over the top, but you were just cool. But you're never over the top, by the way. Anyway, you was cool. And you know, you do your thing and you dancing. I'm looking at everybody. I'm looking in the crowd. I said, wait a minute. I said, but wait, this is a big song. I said, because then people going mad. And I see branches. I see all kind of, I'm like, whoa, wait. And I'm looking behind me. And I said, I like this dance. I said, how is this? So as a side note, I'm a dancer choreographer.
Talk about it.
He said, talk about it. So I'm watching, so I'm a type of person, I want to learn a dance. I watch for a while. And I'm watching, and then I started watching you. And I started watching like certain little movements you make. So I said, oh, this is what we got to learn for the season? I said, okay, we're going to learn this. And from since then, I can hear this song 20 million times. It don't matter at all how much times I can hear this song. Trust when I tell you, literally, I love that song. And it's I'm telling you, Miami is going to be another level. I go tell you, just get ready. Because Miami is a different type of experience. Miami is not New York at all. Like, but it is different.
I heard so.
Nah, Miami different. Miami is actually, I like to say Miami a little more free up than New York, I can say. It's a little more than that. I mean, they do have their rules, don't get me wrong, but I find Miami is just a little more free up. And it go for a week. Same way, go for a week. But from when you get down there until last lap, I'm telling you, it's going to be nonstop. It's a good vibe. It's definitely a good vibe. But shout out to producer. Shout out to Soca Collective. I'm telling you guys produce a hit.
Yo, now, did you we mad.
Now, did you know this was going to be a hit? Did you have a feeling, or is just something that you said, all right, we're going to do the song, we're going to put it out there, whatever happens, happens?
I don't know it was this, but I knew it was a good song. I knew the rhythm was a good rhythm, and I knew this was a good song. I knew, and I feel like other people would have known it, like Nixon and probably Joshua and Ice King J. They had more conviction than I did, but I knew it was a good vibe. You understand? They were kind of hooked on, like, yo, this is what will really hit the people. Like, this was, like, and I was like, yeah, but, you know, like, I feel like, you know, Confessions, and I feel like, you know, Millions, and, you know, but I knew the rhythm was good, but I just didn't see this doing I could have never fathomed it doing this, you know. And as I say, like the rhythm was out since probably June, if I'm not mistaken, like the 9th of June, you know, and then the competition was still probably in July, you know, and it's, you know, like, I personally feel it's just the presentation, you know what I mean? And the vibe of the song, you know. So
I'm telling you, it's the vibe, it's the rhythm. That rhythm is it's just something about when it starts.
Yeah.
It's just like a preparation for the mass to just start. Like seriously, just to hear and I start listening because I'm the type of person I listen to the beat first and listen to ad libs after.
Yeah.
I listen to drums, I listen to everything. So I hear the horns, I heard the drums. At first, I didn't hear in the end you were saying greasy, greasy, greasy. I didn't hear that part. As after a while, I was like, wait. I said, oh, okay, no, but seriously though, just hearing it continuously like that. A lot of people thought you were going to get Road March, you know. We all know Lil Kerry get Road March. But between you and Larry, I'm not, to say this from my opinion, from Lil Kerry to your song to Muddy, I said one of y'all going to get Road March because I played Mass on the Road. I played Monday and I played Tuesday and of course I played Job.
Yeah.
And I can say your song was in continuous. I don't know, you probably know this or probably heard it, but seriously, it was in continuous rotation. And to hear and see the people, how they reacted and how they doing the dance and everything, I'm just like, nah, this song is going, I said, Labor Day is going to be crazy. And I said, if they don't know these few songs now, by the time we get back to New York, they're going to know what it is. And then remember, social media makes everything goes even faster. So now everybody want to know, everybody want to hear this song now. You know what I'm saying? So to see you doing big things and performing this, I love what you're doing. Don't stop doing, continue doing it because I want to see more of what, you know, like I said, I see you do so much. I watch, yes, I did my research. Anyway, I watch shows, different shows. I hear you at shows and stuff. So what is it for you? Like, where do you see yourself going in the future of Dred Lion? We have Greasy Down, yes, right? But how are we going to take it to the next level?
We'll just continue doing music, yo. We'll continue doing music, continue like collaborating, you know. And I think that is where a lot of, you know, the big victories is, you know, in the collaboration. So on all parts of the performing, you know, spectrum, you know, we're gonna do skits, we're gonna do, you know, anything that we could do within the culture that, you know, is gonna push it forward, we're gonna do it. You know, because I think now we have a lot of, you know, persons who are actually making strides within different, like within the film, within the photography, and you know, I think we could come together and put together a real good product. As Grenadians, creatives and talents, I really think, you know, like there's a lot of room for us to, like, you know, go on to these uncharted territories, you know. So I personally, for me, is like anything within the culture, you know, to take it to the next level. You know, and I really want to do things really to inspire, you know, the creativity of those behind us too, you know, understand the youth who watching and, you know, want to do it. So it's really, you know, to take that step, you know, so that they could feel confident to take that step too.
It's true.
Yeah.
I like how you put that together. It makes me think about marketing, right? And also mentoring the youth that's come watching you and the others that's coming up. How important is for artists to understand what marketing does for your career?
Well, I mean, it's like the more visibility you have, the better for you. I mean, and once you have a good art, a good product, then the visibility, once you create the visibility on it, then, but the product must be good, you know, and I think like you have to understand and believe in your product, you know, and keep trying different, you know, tactics within, you know, I can't say that I'm, you know, this tech savvy or like marketing savvy, you know, but I just know that you're going to have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have to take tries. You're going to have to, you know, not be afraid to, you know, do something different, you know, like, you know, put out videos for a month, you know, and, you know, like try different things, you know. But once you believe in what it is that the product that you're putting out, you know, you really have to go that extra mile so that people go believe you, you know. And I think there's a conviction that we all have to find within ourselves and the product that we selling, you know.
Yes.
And then you can't be afraid to ask. You can't be afraid to, you know, lend that, you know, put your hand out and ask for help, like, because there's a lot of unknowns out here, you know. You had to ask for help, you know. Can't be scared, you know. And there's nothing wrong with not knowing, you know, and finding out. There's nothing wrong with, you know, like, whoa, I didn't even know, like, that's what I was supposed to do today. Or, yo, I've been doing this for 2 years like this. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do it. This is where I'm supposed to sign up. Or, yeah, it's like, ask questions, you know, like, and figure it out. But if you don't get up and do something, you know, marketing is a lot of, you know, like, a lot of hard work. When I say hard work in terms of time, in terms of just being consistent, you know. And I think a lot of us sometimes we just, me myself too, you know, just fall short in that area of, you know, like honing in on the consistency that will take you to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. And the more consistent you are, the more, and I think that's one of a lot of people's biggest problems, asking questions. People don't like to ask questions because they don't want to sound away.
Yeah.
Or some people are afraid because they're afraid what the answer might be. Or I think sometimes people are afraid of just asking because they don't want to make it look like they're asking for help. And they have a lot of people that that's hard to do that. And hearing that from you as an artist, I think that's one of the best things to do, because that's how you learn more. That's how you become more. You know, how is it important to know who you are, not just as an artist, but as yourself?
Well, I think that's a journey, and I don't want to. It's important. It's very important, but it's, and I want to say the journey is knowing that it's a journey that is something that you're growing in to be more confident in who you are. Some people, you know, have it from very young, you know, very headstrong, and then some people, you know, you have to figure it out. But it's a big part of, you know, like, people resonating with you now, you know, because it's like it can't be wishy-washy, you know. And, you know, and people knowing who you are is like understanding how you show up, and it's like creating an identity for yourself, you know. And not being moved by external things that don't really benefit you, you know. It's like, I'm going there, but do I really need to be there? Or am I going there because, you know, so it's a conversation with yourself that you constantly have to have, you know. But I think it's trusting your own judgment, you know, that you know what's best for yourself, and being able to articulate that, you know, to, I mean, the people who are wrong, who might care about you, who might want to do something that you don't necessarily want to do, you know. So I think it's being confident in the journey of itself too, you know. Like, I think a lot of people, you know, like, you might realize, well, I might have a problem, and it's like, oh, you don't want to admit you have a problem because you feel like you're going to be treated differently, but you have to admit that you have the problem first and then take the steps. You know, we have to be brave to really wanting the change, you know, because sometimes we just know that we could be better, and then, you know, we don't do nothing about it, you know. And then we sitting down there and like, oh, but what I really do? I mean, and all of us, I feel like a lot of us going through the same things now and have very similar struggles that, but we doesn't really talk to, you know. But I think once we know with this, you know, new time of, you know, mental health, and, you know, people just sharing a little bit more, I feel like we go find more strength in each other now, and that support now will help people be their true self, because we have a better look at how it is that, you know, we support each other as friends, as family, as mates, you know. Yeah, so I think I personally believe that, you know, we have a lot of good to see come from the good that we taking place now, but you had to be willing to really come out yourself.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you're on this journey now. Things are happening fast. Super fast. But you know that like we said earlier, that's a good problem to have. But besides all that, let's uncover certain things, who is Dred Lion? Under all that.
Honestly, Dred Lion is a trying young man, Yeah, he's just trying to, do right by himself and do right for the people around him, Trying to be a good father and, at the same time, I was trying to be a good example to the people around you. But then, at the same time, do yourself the justice that the things that you want for yourself and, make yourself feel the way you want to feel too. So I could tell you're trying, young man.
I'm trying, young man. Yeah. I like that. Oh, you made a grease. I grease. I feel like I get stumbled. It took me a while to get that part, by the way.
Which part?
I feel like I call a little leaf in the red. It took me a while to get that. But I get it. I get it.
Me too.
I feel like I dash leaf. See, I catch the Mr. Miyagi.
Yo.
Wax.
Oh, talk about it. Yeah, that was in the bag, man.
Hey, them Cameroon girls coming for the old out.
Wicked. Madonna.
Yeah, see? Oh, see? And I'll tell you something. I mean, I could do the dance. I'm just saying. I could do the dance. I mean, I'm thinking about even doing a tutorial, like showing everybody, listen, this is how y'all do the dance, okay? Because I said, well, I can't be listening to the song and don't know how to do the dance. Especially when we in feds, y'all have to learn how to do the dance properly. Have to. And I see some people doing this. I'm like, no, that is not it.
What's the dance?
I just started by
doing it.
Oh, you give me the grease. Hey, I grease you though. Oh, they give me the grease. Better when I stand up because I do all the dramatics and everything.
I see you.
I was on a boat ride. It was like, oh, the same boat ride you was on. Your boat ride. I was on that boat ride last week. And when that song started to play, somebody looked at me and said, "Way, that vibes." So I got you. I'm gonna do a tutorial. Watch.
Nah, the dance is our vibes.
But I gotta get your approval first. I can't just go do that. I gotta get your approval first.
Well, it's a certain timing, Once you get a leaf and a Right.
But you see, everybody was not going up the same time. So you had to kind of crawl and bend. Then you come up and then you go back down again. You come back up again and you have to, obviously, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, come on.
Yeah. She like it tick. She like it black. She like it oil. All right. Just vibes in the studio, guys. Dred Lion, thank you so much for passing through. I appreciate you again for coming tonight. Looking forward to see more of your career. Looking forward to see more of music from you, but most of all your growth and what you become even more within the future. Because I know you have so much in you and so much is coming from you. And I'm telling you, I'm just excited to see more.
Jah love and blessings, man. That's all and blessings. That's all I could tell you. Jah love and blessings. And whatever Jah have in store for us, we go bring it forward. You know what I mean?
That's it. That is it. Yeah. And that is that. All right, y'all. It's another episode of Conversation with Milkshake with Dred Lion. Yo. And we are out.
SP and MP and the Villain, we're mad. Hey. So collective.